ஆப்ஷன் வர மாட்டேங்குது.
Hello.
Hello, Ramya ma'am.
Yes, sir. Can we start the session, sir?
Yes, madam.
Still 2 minutes are there, no?
Okay, no problem. After 2 minutes, we can.
Yeah.
Sir is waiting for a long time. That's.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Shall I start, sir?
Yes, madam.
Okay. Good afternoon, one and all. I welcome to the Day 1, Session 3 Faculty Development Program on Artificial Intelligence and Machine Learning, being organized by MJ College of Engineering in association with AICTE Teaching and Learning Academy. This session will be handled by Dr. Sridhara K.S. Giving an introduction to Dr. Sridhara K.S. He is presently working as a professor in Department of Studies in Computer Science and Engineering, University BDT College of Engineering, Davangere, Karnataka. He also worked as a former principal at UBDT College of Engineering, Davangere. He has been a VTU Academic Senate member. He delivered more than 30 invited lectures in various faculty development programs and international conferences. He has also published textbooks on big data analysis, data analytics with R programming, pre-processing are prerequisites for discovering patterns in web usage mining process with different publishing houses like Oxford University Press and Lap Lambert Academic Publishing, Germany, to reach wider audiences. His research interest includes soft computing, artificial intelligence, neural networks, image processing, machine learning, and many more. So I thank Dr. Sridhara K.S. for accepting our invitation. I heartily welcome you to the session, sir. We all welcome you, sir.
Thank you.
Now over to you, sir.
So, good afternoon, all of you. I am audible?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir. You are audible, sir.
Okay. Thank you for the nice introduction given by Ramya. I think from morning you have learnt the introductory concept on artificial intelligence and machine learning from an eminent speaker. Once again, I will thank the organizing team, MEJ College of Engineering, for giving me an opportunity to share my thoughts here. In the inaugural speech, I think if you observe, one interesting thing which has come out from the eminent speaker, that the brainchild of all this machine learning is our human brain. I think all of you will accept this. Whatever it is, the remarkable achievement which is going on in the computer science or especially in the computer era, is the brain, is the back behind it. Many times we'll think, is it possible to simulate a human brain in the same fashion through a machine? That leads to a concept of what is called as ANN. I think in the morning session, he has also come out with an idea that IoT and machine learnings are mixing together to give an application which is very, very interesting. For this reason, I think the today's session, what I am going to give you is on artificial neural network, the design concept. I think this is one of the picture. I think you can chart. Who is she? If this is my question, who is she? I think you can chart. I think many of you know the answer. I don't want to take much time. I think you have given the answer. She is Aishwarya Rai. If I am correct, our brain is so powerful. You just observe, even eyes are missing. Many interesting features which are required for in order to recognize all this data is missing. Even then, our brain is so capable of giving the answer. If you think, I think our brain is somewhat a remarkable module, whatever the organ which is there in our human brain, human organs, which is doing all justice to our today's scenario.
Excuse me,
So,
sir.
yes.
Sorry for the interruption. Your PPT is not visible, sir.
Now it is visible.
No, sir. Sir, you can share your screen, sir.
Ah.
Sir, you can turn off your video and share the screen, sir.
Now it is visible.
Yes, sir. Now it is visible.
Okay. I will not go to the slide mode. I think it is giving some problem. I think
Okay.
without slide mode, I will try to move it. Okay.
Sure, sir. Okay, no problem.
I think the answer is very clear. Now I'll just move on to the most power problem solver in the universe is our human brain. I think you will all accept in our computer science, when we are studying our automata theory, the first idea which has come to the brain is it possible to make the computer design just like a human? That was the Alan Turing concept. So that the visualization has come today. I think almost all in every field, the concept of human intelligence is somewhat is exploited clearly to solve the problem. So for these two reasons, the evolution mechanism and the human brain, which are doing remarkable achievement here. The building problem in all these problem solving is our brain, and that leads to what is called as neurocomputing. Another one is evolution, and this concept is usually called as evolutionary computing. I will try to cover these 2 points here, hoping that many of the audience who are very new to the neural net will start from the beginning, so that when you can start computing immediately after my class. That is my intention. So rather than giving hi-fi neural concept usage to the application, let us start how you can use it. So our computational intelligence, whatever we call it as soft, it is not hard. Just like if the way in which you are going to solve the problem today is soft in nature. Many of the problem. So even the data is missing, you should be able to give the result. So with this soft computing approach, there are 3 categories: the neural network, evolutionary algorithm, fuzzy system. They are all giving the idea of solving it, for which evolutionary programming, evolution strategies, genetic algorithm, and genetic programming. These are all very interesting way. Numeric and many applications are there. The numerical application, system modeling, planning, engineering, I think everywhere you are going to see all these things. Why all these things, all these concepts require neural network is acceptable performance at acceptable cost. I think wherever you go, optimizing the solution is required. So for that reason, machine learning is taking its advantage in solving many of our realistic problems with a low cost. I think IoT is one area. IoT with machine learning is giving the low cost equipments for many of the application through which we can achieve this. So and another thing is this parallelism. It requires robustness and fault tolerance. So these two are very remarkable achievement in ML in order to achieve our goal. So here, if you observe lot of data, many free parameters, complex relationship, one of the problem here usually observe is local minima. You have to come out from this local minima, and you should try to give optimal or a global minima or a maxima with respect to an application. So for all these things, neural network is giving a very good solution. So let us try to understand this computing, which you are already familiar, that is hard computing and soft. We are more interested now today towards giving the soft computing results to many of our applications. I think many of them are defined machine learning. We will try to define this machine learning in a different way. Human learns from experience, it is correct, and computers follows this instruction. Instead, we can give experience, that is the meaning, we will give the data directly to the computer to learn and prepare itself for the action, machine learning. So in this way, the machine learning is playing an important role in order to achieve our data. For all these things, you require defining the problem. What is that problem? Why does this problem need a solution? I think these are all interesting questions. We will try to answer for all these questions with respect to an application. So major bottleneck here is collecting the data, and whatever you get a data today, which is to be formatted clearly, cleaning, formatting, sampling, decomposing, scaling, all these factors we do what we usually called as pre-processing the data. Now we have to design a model for which you should make it to get trained. So our data is divided into 2 parts. One, it is called training part, and another part of the data is called testing. The training part data is supplied to the model and tries to make the model to be trained. Once the training is over, the remaining data is used for testing our model. If it is giving performance good, and then the model is get ready for real application. So many such algorithms are there: decision tree, Naive-Bayes algorithm, artificial neural network, regression techniques. These are all available in the algorithm selection. So in this way, we are going to design any of our models with the help of these data. So there are so many definitions which have been given by neural network. Neural network is just a simulation of a neuron in our brain. So for which many application, many mathematical knowledge is required. Simply you cannot design a neural network. You require mathematical approximation of a neuron, for which you require physics, engineering concept, how to make it to use for different areas of our concept. You require philosophy, linguistic, cognitive psychology, neurobiology. All this leads to the real neuron can be modified into a artificial neuron, what we call it as ANN. I think humans are good at it, problem solving. So for that reason, can you design a all this human capability of solving problem with the help of neural network, that is learning capability. We are good at learning. So can you make a model to learn by itself and try to give the answer? That is ANN. And whatever you give the result, which may not be optimal, then you have to go for optimizing our results. That is evolutionary computing. So you require this data may not be of clear. So there may be different answers which have been provided to this data. So that is fuzzy. The answers are fuzzy, and you should represent this fuzzy data, and you should be able to use it toward modeling. So for all these things, you require a boundary modeling, that is rough sets. All this results in a real problem solving with respect to any of the our future domain. In this way, I think just this is given a small example. There is one uh, ultrasound image here. Whenever it is given to the doctor, he is trying to mark it, the area which has been covered by a license. So if the cancer area should be identified, we humans will many times will give a wrong answer. Is it possible to make clearly a computer can give, distinguish and identify the region of interest correctly? So if you see another interesting picture here in the, can you bifurcate white pixels from black pixels in this picture? In this way, there are so many remarkable things applications are required. A common sense thinking capability, reasoning capability results in what is called as intelligence. If this intelligence, when you make it to use for our computer, it becomes artificial intelligence, because God has given all these things for our humans to learn and do good things. Can you make an algorithm which like human like it works? That results in what is called as AI. So ability to comprehend, understand and profit from the experience results in a knowledge, and that knowledge can be used to solve any of our problem domain. In this way, all these concept what I given you now, the learning capability, representation capability, reasoning capability, all this results in what is called as soft computing system. So this results in only one concept which I try to deal in this hour is neural network. I think it is simulation of a human brain. So you just observe this picture. They are all picture. If you see the first one, it is the representation of a sun. Really, a small circle is there here. We have an illusion. If you observe the second picture, a triangle is placed. Actually, it is no triangle at all. The objects are placed in such a way that one, it looks like a triangle is placed. So this is our human brain is capable of doing some justice to it. Can, if the same picture is given to the computer, can it do justice for this? That is what a neuron, simulation of a neuron can help in designing a neural network model, give the result what the expected result. So for all these things, the question is it possible to simulate this human brain? Is it possible? If the question is answered clearly, then we can give a solution. The brain has been extensively studied by scientists. It is vast complexity prevents, but even then there are so many ideas which have been given how brain is there. The realistic concept has not been resolved out even today. Only 10 to 20% of the working principle is simulated. Even still, there are 80 to 80% of the concept should be get simulated clearly as physical brain to a artificial neuron. So in this way, there is a lot of research which is required. I think deep learning is one of the area which is catching up. Even though it is giving it justice for many of application differently from the previous biology neuron models such as BPN, RBF, etc. The interesting application of deep neural network is the feature extraction, just like our human brain is doing that feature extraction through sensory organs. That achievement, which is somehow it has been done through deep learning concept.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Sorry for the interruption. Sir, could you please run slideshow of your PPT?
If I run, I think it is going to giving trouble. That's why I'm giving this.
Okay, I guess it will come nicely, sir, now.
Okay. Okay. I should not give trouble to you. That's why I'm giving slide by slide. Okay.
Sir, please try once again.
It is going to hang stage. That's why I will come back to once again to this stage. Okay.
Oh, okay, sir.
Is a biological neuron. I think you're all familiar in your biology. Studied the biological neuron, where the signal will come from other neurons and some summation part that will be taken place. What is going on inside the neuron? Only God knows. Is my answer, because nobody knows what is going on here. For curiosity to simulate this neuron, let us think it is doing some summation, because all these signals will enter to the soma part. In the soma part, the its summed result will be available on the output part, and that is usually called as axon. So the axon will help in order to give the result. Here there is a gap that will be lies between the dendroids and the axon. That gap is usually called as new synaptic gap. That makes a sense. There is any electrochemical reaction that takes place. I think in the class many times we'll observe some student will understand, some of them will take time to understand. I think it may be the God gift, that is the synaptic gap, that may not help many of the students to learn immediately. So anywhere this concept can be, you have to simulate all these things. Maybe the one of the reason, one parameter that we'll use in the modeling, that is called learning constant, that varies from person to person. Anywhere biological neurons, when it is get connected with another neuron, it looks like a network of neurons. Like that, there are 10 to the power of 12 neurons available in the human brain. So in this way, all these neurons will play an important role in giving a justice to a problem solving. I think one ant will not give a problem will be solved. When group of ant comes, then immediately will understand they are doing justice to their problem solution. They try to do their work effectively and tries to give the result. In this way, I think many neurons in our human brain helps to give a solution to a problem solving. So in this way, the biological model, whatever the many neurons are connected, results in giving a justice. Now let us compare these two things. I think our computer and the human brain. Up to now, we have designed our computer with the help of transistors. I think synapses 10 to the power of 14 processing element. In a healthy brain, it is shown. Like that, if you observe element size, energy usage, processing speed, style of computation, the interesting thing in our brain is parallel and distributed. So even in our computer, we'll say serial and sometimes parallel computation also. So one of the major observation you can make here, our brain is fully fault tolerant. Even many data is missing which are capable. That's why I show you one picture of Aishwarya Rai. Many of the data is missing. Even then, because of data is missing, it tries to capture and try to give the result. So in this way, the fault tolerance capability of the human brain tries to give you the interesting way our problem solution to our. So there is one picture which I have taken from a textbook, where it is shown like this, the human interconnection of brain. So anywhere, when it is biologically modeled, it looks like this. At the cell body, the axon, that is where the output is available, and that is given to another neuron. In this way, the journey of neuron takes place. Now you want to simulate this, that results in what is called as ANN, Another word is called as artificial neural network model. It acts as an information processing system. Neurons process the information and the signals are transmitted from source to destination, from one layer to the another layer, and finally the output available on the output layer. So in this way, if you design a model, a concept of ANN can be observed. You just observe here, this is the input, x1 to xn. And when it is somewhere here, that is the soma part, that is summation of all these inputs. When it is greater than some threshold theta, the output will be 1, otherwise it is 0. So you have to take the control over the output, that you can use a simple threshold activation function or linear or non-linear activation functions that can be used here to take the control over the output. Where this input, when it is fed to the soma part, it is in order to take the synapse concept or a synaptic confluence operation, we try to imagine there is a weights. The weights are nothing but the available information on the net. So this x1 and w1 is get multiplied, and that is available here. Like that, for all this input, when it is get multiplied, results in xi comma wi. So in this way, you can observe a neural network is a model of input-output pattern. That is, if you know the output for the present input, this model tries to give you the better correct output for the given input as such. So in this way, a neuron model can be designed mathematically like this. There are very interesting models which have been proposed in the literature. I think these models are single layer, multi-layer concept, feed forward concept. I think in this hour, I cannot cover all these models. I'll try to, those who are in the starting, you can refer the textbook for all, each and every model is interesting and tries to, can be used for different application. And similarly, for remaining other models, I'll try to cover only 1 or 2 models in this concept so that when it give an initiation to all of you. So this is a simple threshold model as I told. All these inputs are get multiplied xi into wi, where I varying from 1 to n. When it is greater than threshold theta, the output will be 1, otherwise 0. This is simple activation step function that can be used in order to take the control over the output. So using this model or activation function, we can 1 or 0 concept that can be results out with the help of simple neuron model. Now we'll go for a little bit complexity issue with respect to this concept of simple threshold model, how this can be used for different application as such. So with this, I just summarize a set of links describing the neuron inputs with the weights wi and the summation part at the output level, and it is controlled with the activation function is phi or f. And in order to make use of this should be shifting support, a biasing concept is also introduced at the output. How this can be used? If you say y is equal to mx, then the line or the bisecting line 2 groups, it will cross through the center. Y is equal to mx. That is nothing but x1 minus x2 is equal to 0. So if you want to shift this, add bias to it, that is b. So resulting, the line can be moved anywhere. The equation of the line is, you are all familiar, y is equal to mx plus b. Here, the b is called constant, and it is also called as y here, it is y-intercept. Intercepting the y-axis at some position, from the origin to the position where it crosses, that is the distance, that helps in shifting your the bifurcation line into 2 parts. It can be moved anywhere. So in this way, if there is a data, it is possible for us to get the linear classification of these two. So this is how a bias concept that can be helpful in order to simulate our output. So input data, input vector. So the input layer where you are going to give the concept. I'll come back. There is, you can introduce one more layer in order to compute, that is called hidden layer, and finally the output layer. So the use of hidden layer is very interesting because some of the problems which cannot be possible to solve using input output layer. Then we'll try to introduce one more layer in between that results in capabilities of non-linear problem that can be solved. So in this way, the concept of neural network, or in other words, a biological model is simulated in computer in the form of ANN. So input vector, the weighted sum, along with the bias results in the output applied on the activation function, your output is get ready. So now how to make it to use for an application? If you know already the output, and it is also giving some other output. If it is same, then I can say this model is ready. But if it is not there, that means to say it is giving an error. Here, error is nothing but difference between the expected output and the obtained output. That is used to change the weights, and that is what is called as learning. That's all the concept of neural network. How to make the weights to be changed? What is the logic behind changing the weights? That results in many interesting learning algorithms that are designed, and that is called neural network learning algorithms. So in this way, for all these things, the weights and the bias updating at every iteration or every data set whenever you are going to give, that is the main theory or the concept behind ANN. What you are going to learn in neural network is nothing but how to change the weight, or how while changing the weight, what logic you will apply. Can you give, while giving learning, can you give all the inputs at a time, or example by example will turn? After one set of example is over, if the output is checked in order to repeat your process. In this way, you can give in epoch or iteration to make it to be get trained. So these are all requirement for uh, simulation of a neuron or artificial neuron. So here one question which arises: when to stop? So I think today, if you do one time in the class, the student, if you all of you understood, they don't require any repetition. If I ask some doubt and you'll say, if they are not understood, what we'll do? We'll tell them to. I will. If they are not understood, once again we will repeat our class. In this way, we'll repeat our process until they will be get satisfied. So here the word stopping condition refers to until the error is get minimized to the drastic extent, our process of learning that will be continued. And this results in what is called as terminating our process of iteration. So I think 3 points we have to catch in neural network design. One, the architecture, how to connect one neuron to another neuron, and that results in connection, and setting the weights and training, and taking the control over the different activation functions. So these are the three important things should be observed while designing any of our neural network. So here one, just for curiosity, using a different architecture, a single layer feed forward, only two layers, input and output layer, they are connected. And if you have more than one layer between the input and output layer, usually called as hidden layers, and that results in multi-layer feed forward. Fully recurrent, all input and outputs are connected to each and other, results in recurrent neural network. The output of the other neuron is connected as an input to the other neuron, results in computative network. Like that, there are varieties of connections which are possible, results in what is called as architecture. So the layer, we can introduce layers with the help of application. If we introduce more number of layer, the learning capability also becomes too slow. So that's why you should be a bit careful that in order to design the model, you should also know how many neurons should be introduced and how many layers should be introduced. In that way, we'll try to use for design purpose. So I think in the morning you have understood three type of learning: supervised, unsupervised, reinforcement learning, or reinforcement. So majorly the supervised training is very interesting because you know the output, and because you are basically a teacher, you can train the student in such a way that whatever the expected output, if it is comes, then we can stop our process. But many times if we don't know any output, we have to go for unsupervised. And that is, and in some application where we are going to give awards and rewards, that results in what is called as reinforcement training or the agent based training. So these are all methods of training that can be used in order to model our process. And as I told, you have to take the control over the output. If you take the control, then only it is possible for you to give the output. Some activation functions are hard limit activation function. They are binary, bipolar identity functions. And another interesting functions are there that is called sigmoidal, and these are very much required, especially for neurons where you want to solve nonlinear problems. So especially the nonlinear problems are exclusive or is very interesting that we'll try to come across how neural network that can be used. The sigmoidal function, the interesting here it is differentiable. If it is differentiable, then it is possible for us to get an optimal output with respect to a nonlinear problem solution. In this way, the activation functions are like this. That is how your input and output is controlled through the activation is identity. If it is f of x is same as a, then it is identity function. If you apply some threshold, the output will be only 1 after the threshold, otherwise it is 0. So that is what usually called as binary step. You can use theta here to shift it, or bipolar -1 to +1. Bipolar sigmoidal function, you observe the sigmoidal function is a S-shaped function. 1 over 1 plus e to the power of -x is the sigmoidal equation. By changing e to the power of minus lambda x, changing the value of lambda, we can give a different shape of S to take the control over your output. These are all very interesting and required activation function. They are used at the end of simulating your concept. So now constructing any ANN, what you require all these components, what I just discussed now, network topology, types of connectivity, order of connections, weight range, how much you have to give the weights, initial weights, and data node properties, what activation function that is used in the intermediate layers. All these parameters mix, that is learning rule, weight initialization, everything matters in order to design ANN. Once all these concepts are designed, we can use it directly for any of the modeling. I think one example which I want to demonstrate here it is, if you use many neurons, for example, many layers output, what you can realize it. Using a single neuron, it is possible for you to get one linear line. If you use multi neuron, then you can able to do a justice for identifying it. Let us assume this is the red part. You are interested in making the red part to be bifurcated from all other parts. Using one neuron, it is possible to generate a line or a linear line that classified into two groups. Like that, different neurons that helps you to find out the lines, and by intersection of all these results in making the inner part that is completely out from all other ones. That results in how a threshold logic that can be used to bifurcate a data which is hidden inside from all other data. So in this way, a neuron helpful in doing some complex application. So this is such neuron. Each layer, this neuron tries to give one line, second one, like that. All this, when it is get combined, the middle component can be taken out. So this is the interesting feature of this logic, and it can be used for bifurcating our data into a different categories. So the terminologies that you are all familiar with now, input layer where you supply your input data, and hidden layer concept. You can, how many hidden layers and how many nodes are there in the hidden layer? It is by trial and error we are going to fix with respect to application. Output is how many outputs you want. You want only one output, yes or no, or multiple output. For example, you want to recognize the numbers. Then you require 10 outputs because 0 to 9. The number of features, that is the number of inputs. So in between these two, we are going to design, and finally this model is get ready for giving justice to your application. So in this way, terminologies that whatever you understood is used. So this is the basic supervised learning model. Training your process and the obtained output is not ready, and you will come back and try to change the weights, and that process is get repeated until you are going to get your output. So in this way, the input data and output data is fed and the result is obtained. The result is compared with the required data. Otherwise, the process of iteration is continued. These weights are changed at every iteration, and finally the model is get ready. So this is the concept behind supervised learning model. So I hope all of you catch this concept with respect to the biologically neuron is simulated in the form of a ANN. So the model here, it is the weights, summation, activation function, that is the G or F, whichever it is there, applied on WJI and AI when it is the output is obtained in order to take the required output. So let us solve this problem. I hope you understood all activation function. This is sigmoidal function 1 over 1 plus e to the power of minus x. So in this way, the simple threshold function helps you to design your output as a bool. So let us understand with how this can be used in order to design simple logical gates. Then it will be clear. I think in order to design a model or a neuron, when 0, 0 is given, the output should be obtained as 0, 0, 1 like that. A logical AND model you want to simulate, it requires some weights that should be takes the control and applying on the threshold, you should give the output as 1 or 0. So how to make this weight should be chosen. So that is the model. So like that, we can introduce even any of our logical gate, OR gate, or NOT gate, inverter gate. All these can be simulated in a single neuron that can able to learn and give a justice to your output. So in this way, a model can be designed. That is the concept of neural network structure in order to design our input-output pattern. So let us try to understand with a specific example how this works. Take two inputs, say 1 and 2. Hidden layers concept, say 3 and 4. When it is get connected, the input value is multiplied with 1, 3, 1, 4. Just a node number I am just specifying here, 3, 4. 2, 3 and 2, 4. If you observe here, the output obtained at A5, that is the output here A5, is the function applied on W35, that is weight 35, multiplied with the output obtained at A3, W45 multiplied with the output obtained at A4, when it is applied on the activation function. What is the output A3? A3 is nothing but obtained, W13 is multiplied with X1, A1, W23 is multiplied with A2, results in the activation function here. So similarly, we can get the activation function at these two places, and all this effect is available on the output. That is how A5 is get generated. So A5 is the functional value of all these things. That's why we call it as feed forward network is computes parameterized family of the function of HW of X. So all these values results at the output level. So in this way, the output is proceeds and you can take the control over the output. You want the output to be 1 or 0 with the help of simple threshold value, you can take the control as 1 or 0. If it is greater than 0.5, output will be 1, otherwise it is 0. Like that, you can take the control over the network. So all this credit, whatever the model I just explained, the credit goes to one of the person, that is Frank Rosenwald. So is one of the paper which you can observe even today. It is given in 1957, the Frank Rosenwald model of this concept is what you usually called as perceptron. Simple perceptron learning algorithm which he proposed in order to change it. And this is the paper. Here, if you observe how this works, input and output pattern is just shown with respect to an example, a network structure when it is get multiplied with the corresponding weights, and that will be taken the control for the output. If there are multiple outputs, depending on the input, the only corresponding output will be on more compared to remaining output. So this is how a perceptron model is proposed. Just to understand a realistic application. For example, we are given a 7-segment display 0. When you say it is 0, if all these A, B, C, D, E, F, whatever it is there, so if you want to make the digit 0, X0 and X1, remaining all other outputs, X0 and X0, is off, remaining all other 1, then the output will be 0. So like that, if you want to design, this vector acts as a feature vector. When this feature vector is supplied to the neuron, it learns, and when new data gets supplied and tries to give the exact output which is required. So that is how identifying a digit model is given, and that results in a neuron model. So let us take this, how learning algorithm, how it works internally. So the learning algorithm here is the simple learning model. Input ij, that is j varying from 1 to n, that is n inputs. Single output, say output 0. The target is t. So the error here it is, the target, whatever it is there, and you are going to give your own output, that is O. T minus O acts as an error. If it is error is greater than 0, it is implied you have to increase the output. So that is nothing but you have to increase the weights. So if similarly, if error is less than 0, you have to decrease the output. So how to make this increase or decrease the output depends on not on the input values, it is only on the weights. So if IA is positive, increase the weights tends to increase the output. If IA is negative, decrease the weights and tend to increase the O. So in this way, a simple logic that is proposed, and that results in a concept that is called change in the weight is nothing but old weight is added with alpha, a learning constant, a learning rate, what I told, a synaptic gap. In other words, alpha is helps you to understand how learning philosophy takes place in the neuron, and the corresponding input is get multiplied with the error is the perceptron learning rule proposed in 1960 that is results in this model. So let us understand this algorithm with an example, then it will be clear. So with respect to this perceptron learning algorithm or input output pattern, now you will give them. If the perceptron is 0, it should be 1. Add the input vector to the weight vector. Here, adding the weight vector to the input results in the change in the weight. If perceptron is 1, if you require 0, then you subtract it. So this logic we will try to apply on the input output pattern, and finally the whatever the weights which will be settled, it will try to rectify or which will give the result to you. So let us understand, solve this problem with a basic R function or logical function. Here bias is, we are going to give all bias, make it 1 or minus 1, depends on the way in which you are going to design. For simplicity, we will take it as all of them are, bias is always 1. X1, X2 are the two inputs. 0, 0, label it as 0, remaining all other case the output will be 1. So the activation function here it is, if it is greater than 0, output will be 1, otherwise it is 0. I hope you understood how a logical OR gate is understood from the perspective of designing of a neural network. So let us start our journey. We will all use a single perceptron model, W0, W1, W2, initialize all the weights to 0. So initially all the weights are 0. Apply first your input, 1, 0, 0, your first input. So that is 0, 0. Here 1, 0, 0 is bias, 0, 0 is the X1, X2. Label, it is 0. When it is get multiplied with the corresponding W0, W1, W2, the output will be 0. So it classify it as 0, and you are also expecting output is 0. Don't do anything and you go for the next training example. The next training example in the data is 1, 0, 1. That is the next training example. When you supply 1, 0, 1, the output is, when it is get multiplied, the weight is 0, 0. So we are expecting the output be 1, but it is giving output 0, because when you get is multiplied with 0, 0, 0, the output will be always 0. So resulting, we are expecting output 1, but it is giving 0. That means to say now we have to change the weight. What we'll do, add the input vector to the weight vector, resulting new weights 1, 0, 1 is changed. Your initial weight 0, 0 is now changed to 1, 0, 1. In this way, the weights are get changed. Now you are understanding, this is learning. That's all what the learning philosophy. When you apply example 3, that is 1, 1, 0, that is the third example in the data set. The third example is 1, 1, 0. So you are expecting output 1. and on output 1, and when is get multiplied, the label is also 1, the output is also 1, don't do anything. So when you supply the last example, then also the obtained output and given output is same, hence the weights are become 101. But we will not stop now, because in the first iteration, the first data set for which it has been changed. If it is not changed, we can stop it. No, after one complete iteration, if no change in the weight, that is nothing but the stopping condition. We can stop. But otherwise, we'll try to once again repeat our process, and that is called as epoch 2. So epoch 1 is over. Now we'll once again give the same example for training. 101 is the new changed weight after the first iteration. Give the input 100 once again and apply this logic. The expected output is 0, but it is giving 1. So what you have to do, once again, you have to subtract your weight. 101 is subtracted from 1000, resulting 001. That is the output data you got. Now apply second data. The expected result is same. In this way, you start repeating your process. Finally, your process is after the third epoch only, it is able to settle and finally gives your weight vector. And even if you repeat it, it remains same. So resulting, you have reached that condition. Now what you have understood from this logic is the training. So the training is over, your model is get ready, and this is what a simple neuron model with a simple input output, and this model works for logical OR gate. You want to change to some other gate, what you have to do is we have to change our input output pattern, repeat the same algorithm, then finally the weights are changed for it. And that can be used for any other gate. In this way, learning philosophy works. Just to demonstrate all examples, just I am giving how the training process start. This is epoch 1, your weights are get ready 101, and finally second epoch starts, and finally the output will be after the fourth example it become 111, and when you see that once again the repeat your process 011 and requires one more iteration. If no changes occurs, you stop your process, and the weights at the end it's 011, it get ready and tries to give your result. So I hope all of you understood how a simple neuron model is designed and that can be used to solve a problem. If this is clear, a real application that can be resulted out. A threshold perceptron have some advantage in particular. A learning algorithm, that is whatever you understood. Here for all these things you require the error. How to find out the error? That is expected output and obtained output is difference. So when you make it squared, use it as a linear regression. In the regression also we'll use it. Square the error and use it. So that is what the E of x, the error is the squared error of whatever the x, that is y minus obtained output. Take the square, divide by 2, that results in the same value. So your negative and positive value will be terminated out, and the error term will be result source. So this error minimizes, until this error is minimized, your process of iteration continues in our process. So that results in the concept of using root mean square error, or what we call it as gradient descent technique. At each time the error is coming down, that is by descent technique, and error is partially differentiated with respect to the weight, that is partially, that is dava e divided by dava wj. Error is partially differentiated with respect to weight, results in the error is until it is get minimized, you are going to repeat your process. So that is error is negative factor, that is the curve is negative in the direction, results in get multiplied with a corresponding input, tries to give you the error is get minimized at every iteration, and until this is minima, we are going to repeat our process. So this is the curve which are the concept of gradient descent algorithm, which helps you to process flow in our learning philosophy. I hope many of you understood the concept of this algorithm. A little bit mathematics is there. From here only the real mathematics starts. I am just giving you only the small simple mathematical part. When you some of the textbook, especially Yagna Narayan is one of the very interesting Indian author textbook. neural network is design is given, where you can see all our whatever you learnt in our education, the mathematics, has best utilized in order to understand how a neural model can be designed with reality. So this search technique in order to find, we require the learning constant also. You should be very careful in using alpha is a constant that is used in every iteration. It should not be too large and it should not be too small also. By trial and error, you are going to fit the alpha value. So this is the learning error curve. Until your error is going to be get minimized, you are going to repeat our process. So this is the complete perceptron algorithm which has been designed. Start with a random weights that you are understood, W1 to Wn. Select the training example, input-output pair belongs to your set data. Run the perceptron, the input X and the weight W to obtain its output G. For every change after G, change the weights Wi to the new delta Wi. Changing the weight in the W is done. Alpha is get multiplied with the difference in Y minus Gi, gradient of G dash of input corresponding Xi input. Results in change in delta Wi that you add to your Wi, results in a new way Wi is used, and repeat this process until you are going to stop. So this epoch is nothing but a cycle that repeats your process. So this can be used in order to solve our problem. I just explained how gradient descent technique is used. This perceptron model, whatever used, that can solve logical AND gate, OR gate, NOT gate very easily because they are linearly separable. The word here, one line or a linear line that classified into two groups. For example, if there are two sets of data, one I just shown here a blue dots, another one is plus. If I are able to get a line, the below line is all data belongs to group one, above the line belongs to another group. That's why the word this line is having the equation minus w dot w1 x1 plus w2 x2 equal to 0. So we can find out the value of x1 and x2 and draw a line through which it is possible for us to bifurcate data. And this is called as separation or linear separability. So this logic is useful, especially for whatever you have done up to now. So here, logical OR gate, these three data belongs to one group, and this my 0, 0 output is 0 belongs to another group. So that's why you're able to get a line that is W1, W2 that helps you to find out these two class separately. That is logical OR gate. So similarly, you can design logical AND gate also in the same fashion. But when you go for exclusive OR XOR gate, you just observe here. If you find a line, one line here, one data is missing. If you put another line here, one more the starting 0, 0 is missing. Exclusive OR is a very interesting. This linear separability is whatever the perceptron model, whatever you designed now, is not at all possible to solve this exclusive OR problem. This problem is given by Minsky and Puppet in 1969. All neural network interesting research stopped all in the 1970s or so. People think designing a neuron is not that easy. Even the whatever the neuron designed up to now by the Frank Rosenbolt's concept, which even it cannot solve exclusive OR problem. How can it solve the real problem? In that way, the research in the area of neural network is stopped for more than 10 years, 1 decade. Up to 70, 80, nearly 70 end, that is around 80 only, come out with a new model, introducing a hidden layer concept and solves the problem of exclusive OR that results in what is called as hidden layer concept. I hope you understood how this hidden layer concept has come into picture. Now the people have think the hidden layer is designing is somewhat very trickier. Now deep learning is doing its best in introducing many hidden layers, solves many interesting problems. In this way, the neural network technology is taking its shape now today in order to solve very interesting problems. Why it is not possible in linear separability is, if you say 0, 0 less than threshold, W1 plus 0 greater than T, observe these two are the two data. It is contradiction because W1 plus W2 greater than 2t, W1 W2 less than t, both are impossible. So hence XOR is not linearly separable with respect to our linear separability problem. So it requires some interesting way we have to solve this problem with hidden layer concept. Introducing hidden layers solves this problem. So I hope you understood linear separability and how this misclassification is solved. So one for curiosity, just I am giving an example. If put a one line, many of the data are misclassified here. If I put one more line here, you can group these two data as another group and you can able to give a justice. So this is one such type of interesting problem which are there in the literature. This is one in IRIS data set. IRIS is very interesting data set which are available in the IRIS, especially in the UCI data set. You can find out this IRIS data. 3 types of flowers are classified with the help of this IRIS data, a neural network model that can be designed in order to solve this problem. Just for curiosity, I am giving this slide. This is the data set classified into 3 categories: Setosa, versicolor, Virginica. These which will helps you to solve the neural network design with a hidden layer concept. For all these things, you require what is known as mean squared error or root mean square error. Error play an important role because error helps you to change the weights. So we have to identify how to make the error to be reduced to a drastic extent and make the weights to be get changed. So in this way, I hope how root mean square error that problem can be solved, that can be observed here. So I think desired output means the actual output. Summation of all result minus square of this results in what is called as total sum of square. Taking the square root of this results in number of pattern and number of output results in RMSE or root mean square error. So this helps in finding out our maximizing or minimizing our output value in the requirement. So deriving this gradient descent or a learning algorithm, whatever it is given up to now, is little bit changed with the help of concept, with taking the partial differentiation about the error and used this concept in order to change the output. So I will try to explain this with an example. Here, whatever the rule changes at every iteration, you usually called as a delta rule, with multiplying with a learning constant, difference in error, xi. Now we are making use of this rule, change in the weight with the help of error component, differentiating with respect to output and changing its weights at every iteration makes a sense in finding out a best weights at every iteration. So while doing, we can give one set of data at a time and calculating after one set of data is get trained. Or whenever you give each data, we are going to use the error and to change the weights. That can be used in any mode, and that mode is called as batch processing or stochastic process. So that is this updation of weights that can be done in these two methods. So when you use exclusive OR problem in order to solve this, so resulting, I'll just give you one example here. I think all of you are seeing this screen. Is for curiosity, I given this example. Observe this data: 0, 1, -1, -2, -1. Green points are one group, red points are one group. Now, if you observe here the value, if you put anywhere the line, some data are get misclassified. It is not linearly separable. What you have to do? You have to do some interesting way to solve this problem by changing the feature itself. That is how we can solve. Make F2 a new feature which is F1 square. Results in the values are plotted F1 with respect to F2. We observe all green components are grouped into one category. We put a line here. Then we can easily bifurcate the red values from green values. This is how some interesting way we applying the heuristic logics with respect to the data, we can do justice to our application. So in order to achieve, it cannot be applied for all. It can be applied for some typical example just I shown. For all, if you want to go, you have to go for a multi-layer perceptron with a hidden layer concept, results in you can use the concept of solving even non-linear problem that can be results of. So now I am audible to all of you. Just for, I think, hello,
Yes, sir, you're audible.
audible, and is it comfortable?
Yes, sir, comfortable.
So I will go a little bit slow from here. A little bit mathematics starts. I hope whenever the mathematics comes, a little bit you feel uncomfortable. But it is very simple mathematics which helps you to understand. But one observation what I am making is nowadays is in Python or any other neural network related modules, all these are hidden in APIs. But if you understand mathematics behind, APIs can be easily understood and you can use for your application effectively. So try to catch this input layer, hidden layer concept, and the output layer. I hope these three layer concept, whatever you have just understood is the same thing. And the model that whatever you have just understood is what is called as adaptive linear model, that is ADA line model. So now pictorially, if you want to observe x1 to xn input, x0 is the bias, and bias is having its own weight. We can call it as W0 or B. W1 to Wn, Yin is the output obtained. That is summation of xi into Wij. So whatever the output is obtained, you are getting the error, that is expected output minus the obtained output. Change the weights. Repeat this process until you are satisfied. So the finally, when it is get satisfied, take out the output. This ADA line, when you join with many such ADA line model, results in MEDA line model. So I think whatever the learning methodology that is changing the weight is applied with simple equation alpha learning constant difference in error multiplied with a corresponding input results in the output y. So here initialization, training example. After training is completely over, then we'll give for testing to give the results. So in this way, any neural network model or machine learning model is required three important phases. One is initialization, training, and testing. So that results in our model, any of our concept. Just this is the initial weights. At every iteration, the weights are coming down and finally settle at the global minima. So error when it is minima, then if you repeat, it will start rising. We'll stop over there and use that weight for our calculation purpose. So this is how we can look in the error surface in the cross-sectional part. If we take vertical cross-section of this error curve, whatever the curve is there, if you take vertical, it looks like a parabola. So you are somewhere here, and at every iteration, it is coming down. That is called gradient descent, and finally settle at a minima, and that is the local minima. If you are going to climb, if there are many peaks and there is there, reinitialize and solve the problem. It is possible to get a global minima. If we take horizontal cross section, it looks like a ellipse. In many, because it is a 3D, many ellipse that will be results out. So what is the error here? You are somewhere here at every iteration, it is moving towards global. You just observe here the red dots which is moving, that is the error points, and finally comes to the stopping position. Whereas in the case of cross section, if you are going to observe the same thing, the errors values are zigzag and finally tries to come. The W1, W2 are the weights with respect to your two input pattern. This mathematical representation helps us to find out a global minimum. So as I already told, the bias it helps you to shift your value from origin so that when the linear line can be shifted to any position. Such a neuron ADA line model, when you combine many such, results in multi-layer concept. Now, how multi-layer has come into picture is MEDA line concept. Now, still here it is still learning philosophy is not clearly given, but even then, many adaptive model, whatever you observe, intermediate layer is what usually called as hidden layer concept, MEDA line. So that results in what is called as back propagation neural network concept, or short form that is called as MEDA line model, where a hidden layer concept is coming to picture. So back propagation results here because whenever you get your output at some position, I'll just show with respect to a diagram, then it will be clear. So this diagram helps you to understand. You just observe the notations. I1 to I3, that is 3 inputs, hidden layer H0 to H1, H2, and the output is 2 outputs, say output 0 and output 1. So here 2 output concept. Here biasing is given. So you know the output at the output layer. We don't know what is the output at the intermediate layer. But whatever the error obtained here is used to update the weights of even the weights between hidden layer to the output layer and as well as from input layer to the hidden layer. So this process will be repeated until the error is get minimized. That is what usually called as gradient descent technique. That is what you understood is used here in order to use the logic of multi-layer feed forward network. One such algorithm is Gaussian. So while doing so, whatever the activation that you use should not be a threshold function because your weight should be decreased. So it should be differentiable activation function if you use, then only it is possible. For that reason, we are going to use a sigmoidal activation function or Gaussian function. They are all used here in order to simulate our process. Any continuous function, it should be continuous function. It should be differentiable, then gradient descent technique that can be used here in order to use back propagation algorithm uses this gradient descent technique in order to reach the output. It uses a sigmoid or a binary or a bipolar activation function, even -1 to +1 or between 0 to 1 that can be used in order to take the control over your input. So in the gradient descent technique, whatever the input output pattern is there, that at every moment the change in the weight that is applied delta W to change the weights in order to give your next weight. So let us understand this logic with an example, then it will be clear. I hope this is before understanding the logic of gradient back propagation algorithm, how it works. Two inputs, x1, x2, two hidden layers. First hidden layer, there are 3 nodes. Second hidden layer, there are 2 nodes. Output is only one output, that is F6. The weights are initialized, just similar to the previous W1, W21, just for the notation, W11, W21 from the second node to first node. Similarly here, first node 1 to 1, 3. Similarly, for this layer 2, 1, 2, 2, 2, 3. This is how it is notated, notational concept used. Whatever the output obtained here, it is y1, that is at the function f1 of the output. It is the multiplication of w11 x1, w21 x2 multiplied, applying activation function here, that is the function results in y1. I hope you understood how y1 you got. Similarly, y2. y2 is the output obtained at f2. So it is the F2 multiplication of x1 to x1, x2 to x2. Similarly, x3, y3 is the output obtained at 3. Next, output obtained at F4 is the functional value of all these inputs. W14, these are all initialized. Output obtained here is get multiplied with all these values, results in F4. Similarly, Y4, you got it. Y5, you got it. Y5, and finally the F6 output, whatever you have got it, F6. Now you know the output. It is also giving the its own output, that is called Y. Now you will take the difference between these two, that is delta. Delta is nothing but Z minus Y. So it may be even negative or positive. We will try to take this term as delta, and that is used to update all this weight for the first iteration. This process is repeated until the expected output is obtained. So this is how a training or a back propagation algorithm which works internally. Now you observe the delta, whatever you got, is used to get the value of delta 4 here. The error at the delta 4 is nothing but W46 multiplied with delta. Similarly, delta 5 at the output is W56 delta, and similarly delta 1 is nothing but W14, that is the weight, delta 4, W15, delta 5. I hope you got how you got the error at delta 1, delta 2, and delta 3. All these values are used. Now you want to change the weights W1, that is the weight which are initialize. Now it is going to change. That is old value plus learning constant, whatever the delta 1 you calculated, the differentiation of f1 with respect to the corresponding error, that is f dash, is get multiplied with the corresponding x1, results in new weights w1. Similarly w2. So w211 and w21. In the same fashion, we'll change w12 and w22. So in this way, the process of changing the weights are changed at every position. W46 is changed. Original is changed to old value plus learning constant delta differentiation of x6 over the error multiplied with the corresponding input. Here it is y4. Corresponding input here it is y5. So resulting the new values of 4.6 and 5.6 is updated. In this way, all weights are updated. Same concept is used to change the weights here. So this is how the backpropagation learning algorithm, which works internally in order to change the error. I hope how gradient descent technique is used to update. So this is pictorial representation of how the values of is calculated. That is at every iteration. So note this point. If it is the activation function is differentiable, then only it is possible. That's why you are going to make use of sigmoidal function, not the simple threshold function. So combining all these things results in an algorithm that is called BPN. That is change in for each output unit K, output 1 minus of OK into difference between target and the obtained output is used delta K and delta H, that is used to update the weights. So this is the logic behind, and these are some additional things which are given. So some of you may not be understood the mathematics. For curiosity, I just am giving how logical OR gate can be designed using BPN network. So you are all your input 1 0, you are expecting the output logical OR gate. Just you have to understand. Your initial with some values, say 3, 2, 5, like that. That is, you are initialized here 3, 6, 4, 5, and 2, 4 for hidden layer to the output layer. And these are all the way biasing is x0 is 1, and their weights of bias are -6, 1, -3. This is initialization. It is random initialization. Once the random values are initialized, how training proceeds? So in the first iteration, the y3 is calculated. So y3 is calculated with respect to the multiplication of 1 into 1. That is 1 is the input, 1 into 1 plus 1 into 3 into 1 plus 4 into 0, resulting in output y3 is equal to function of 4. It is 1. Since you are using activation function is 1 over 1 plus e to the power of -x. Here x refers to the net input e to the power of -4, 0.98. I hope you got how y3 you got. Similarly, y4. So just I summarize here. I will not take more of your time. 0.98, 0.5, and finally 0.51 we got. This is the network output. What you are expecting? You are expecting 1, but it is giving 0.5. So here what you have to do, you treat it as an error. That is 1 minus 0.5, that is 0.49. So 0.49 is the error term. So that is used as a delta to update all these values in the next iteration. Now compute the delta values. y5 minus 1 minus y5, that is 0.5, 1 minus 0.5, corresponding y target minus y5, 0.49, you already got, that is error. And that is used to change and results in the value 0.1225. So in this way, we'll change the value of delta 5, same as delta 4 and delta 3. So how I hope you got how the value, same logic that is used to simulate here. And finally, the values are obtained, the new values of the weights are updated. Changing the weight is learning constant, corresponding error delta j, corresponding input wi. So hence, the new values are here, a learning constant is taken as 0.1 multiplied with 0043, corresponding input 1 results in 0.004. The new weight is 1.004. You got here the value 1. So 3 plus old value 3 plus 0.4, 3.004 is the new weight for this. So I hope you got this value. When it is, I just tabulated all these new values of all the weights are changed. So after this, once again you do your iteration. you will get the error term y3, y4, y5 at here. And finally, you just observe in the previous iteration, you got 0.49 as error. Now it has become 0.47. So error is reduced from 0.49 to 0.47 after one iteration. You repeat this iteration for 100, 200 times, your error is drastically reduced. So this results in the BPN. I hope all of you got how mathematically, if you use API, it will run in one shot and gives the result to you. But if you simulate it with your code, then you can understand it better, and this can be used for any of your application. So now we got the meaning of training. Now after training is over, you give a test data, just multiplication factor and output is obtained. So this is, but it is while training, it is very slow. We have to agree, a neural network is very slow in training. If we have more nodes, more number of hidden layers, then because of today hardware increase in the hardware design, the concept of learning is drastically reduced. I think in 90s, people to do neural network problem, people will be suffer because the only reason is hardware is taking more time in order to give mathematical concept for a real application. I think even in the literature it is there. For training more than 3 hours, 4 hours, even one day for a typical application that has been reported. Nowadays it is not the case. So because of increasing in the speed of the hardware, CPU speed and GPUs are coming in order to give you very good. So now the total computation is clear. The examples, training, minimizing the test error. Just for curiosity, those who are familiar with Python, just for input 0001, there is the input vector exclusive OR problem. A class, neural network class is designed before training, and when you go for a training, you just observe this I0, I1, I2 are the output obtained at the intermediate layers. Sigmoidal of corresponding dot product of input is multiplied with the weights. The weights are initialized with a class function constructor. Once the output is obtained, take the error, use it to multiply with a sigmoidal error, get I2, I1, I1 in the same fashion, update the weight and repeat this process for number of iteration. And finally, after this number of iteration, whatever the weights which is left out, that can be used to test. You take any input and check for predicting it, and it gives your output. Take the control over your output. If it is output is greater than 0.5, predict it as true, otherwise is false. Like that, any neural model, whatever you observed now, can be simulated with our programming principle with any of our language construct that you are controlled. So with this, I hope you understood the design of a simple neuron with the help of BPN concept. Very, very interesting papers which have been come out with a BPN solution for many of the real application. So with a small change, the RBF network is there, radial basis function. So here many data we want to do. Instead of that, we can take the combined effect. Instead of sigmoidal function, you have to use Gaussian function with a mean and a standard deviation support. Even dimensionality reduction will help to a non-linear problem will bring to the linear fashion, and that can be resolved out. So time is short. I think whatever the time is given to me, it may not be possible to explain RBF network, but it is the extension of BPN network to understand many realistic applications which are results in RBF. And also you can see the papers in the net comparing the results of RBF with a BPF for a real application. I think in the morning, while inaugurating, professor is telling about character recognition. I think those who want to start your real application, go for a number recognition or a character recognition as an input, as a dot. Your input is in the form of 5x5 matrix or used to represent your data. Wherever the data comes, to make it 1, otherwise you make it 0. Supply it as data, use number of hidden layers and generates your output to take the control over giving input. The only E output Here E, if you are giving, the output at the fifth should be higher than remaining things. Like that, if you train it for all character, your neural network is get ready. You give any input, it tries to, even if the errors, even in your input data, 1 or 2 pixels are missing, even if it is tries to give the result, that results in a fault tolerance. I hope in while some the concept which I result out in this discussion is perceptron, ADA line model, MEDA line model, backpropagation neural network, and some introduction on one of the very interesting network is RBF network, RBF function. So you can use this model. The built-in functions are available for many applications for image enhancement, functional approximation, fault tolerance, many applications, recognition of handwritten characters, text to speech conversion. These are all available in the literature. You can go for it. So I hope another 10 minutes is there for me. Within this, I'll try to cover one more additional requirement for this. I think, is it comfortable?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Within another 10 minutes, I'll try to cover one more topic which is required for neural network for optimization purpose. Especially, uh, especially when you say a neuron after designing, you say the output is very slow. As an engineers, you should give not feasible solution, optimal result. So optimal result is possible through one of the interesting thing is GA, or what we say genetic algorithm. I think all credit goes to Holland, University of Michigan. He given the idea of how a natural gene that can be represented in the computer and how it can be used in order to solve optimal result. We are all familiar how in the Darwin's theory, the three principle, even today we are surviving here because of the three principle support. So GA is a efficient, effective technique or genetic algorithm. It is widely used for business, scientific, engineering calculation now. As time is less, I'll try to give only the only highlights of this concept. So you can read it. The cell biology, we are all familiar. For all our today's characteristics and everything, is the gene is the responsibility. That is usually called as DNA representation of a DNA or whatever it is there, a gene, a chromosome. A genetic information is stored in chromosome. Each chromosome is built of a DNA, and there is 23 pairs in our human system. Chromosome is divided into part, what is called as gene. These are all biologically whatever you understood in our childhood. Let us make it technically how we can represent this. So in this, all three concepts in the genetic algorithm, three steps. One is selection, crossover, mutation. So these three principles are used and make this used iteratively in order to give the result. So here is also nothing but a searching for a optimal result. That's why it is also a searching algorithm. 100 varieties already reported in GA. For all understanding purpose, the basic concept is how to represent a gene in our computer scene. So gene or a chromosome, how to initialize it, that is creation, evaluating it, and selection of the best parent, that is called selection process, how to generate the childs, that is crossover operation, and finally mutation helps you to natural phenomena of mutation can be imposed and set the parameter for your application. So these three principles GA in order to do a concept of GA used for our application. Just for curiosity, let us assume a gene is represented with 1-0 concept. So each and every bit or a group of bit responsible for a particular character and results in a parent. This is one gene, this is another gene. When you want to do a crossover, some of the bits, the last 5 bits are replaced by blue, resulting a new offspring is generated. So the offspring are good or parents are good. You are going to evaluate the function. How many number of ones are there here? How many number of ones are here? Are the functional value on this results in its evaluation. If offsprings are good, we'll keep for the next iteration. Otherwise, you'll do some other crossover in order to get your output. So this is the basic logic. So when you represent the data in the form of a gene and do crossover here refers to, you can do crossover at one position or two position results in the application GA. So in this way, the concept of crossover that can be done with the help of any position. For example, you observe here in the second position only it is replaced by a blue concept. So in this way, a new formed here. So you can use any of the crossover principle and results in a new child which are formed out. So here, some of the technical terms: population, set of solution, individual, solution to a problem, a fitness or nothing but quality of a solution, chromosome, what do you say in the nature, we call it as encoding or representing this as a strings, and gene, a part of encoding or a solution, reproduction, we call it as crossover. I think these are all the engineering terms used for a natural concept of genetic principle. So using this phenomena, selection, crossover, reproduction, it is possible to get a. In order to understand this, let us take one simple problem to catch up. Data set, for example, a simple problem. I want maximum of x square. X can take the value between 0 to 31. So I want x square, maximum x square, that should be result out from this. So you can immediately give the answer. If the whichever it is maximum, it gives it. If you want to apply genetic algorithm to solve this problem, you randomly take the data. For example, you'll take the represent a binary code representation of data 0 to 31. You require 5 bits to represent it. 0, 1, 1, 0, 1. If you say it is 13. Like that, you let us take 4 parents out of it. Randomly, you choose it. Population size is 4. You'll do 1 point crossover. At one position only, you will exchange the data set. And then randomly, you'll select using row selection process. That means to say selection for the next iteration, which is the best child for the next crossover operation. And do this iteration, you'll get your solution at the afterlife. Just for curiosity, I'm giving 1, 2, 3, 4. Randomly, I selected 0, 1, 1, 0, 1. Its value, if you say numerically, it is 13, 24, 8, 13. And its fitness value is nothing but its square, 169, because you are finding its square, maximum value. So when you want to do this, so the maximum value here, if you observe here 0, 8, so here actual value is less 8 here. Compared to all other three, the third one is giving very low value. So if you remove it and replace it by another gene, which is giving maximum value, then the new thing that can be results of. For example, you observe here 0, 1, 1, 0, 0, a new data, 1, 1, 0, 0, 1, you say value will do it. Because it is giving very less value, we are going to remove this. So it is called selection process. Now you got a selected child which are having maximum values. Now do crossover. So you can put anywhere the crossover point, the values will be replaced. 0, 1, 1, 0, this value is replaced by 0. And this is value is replaced with 1. Now you got a new offspring. Its value is 12, 25, 27, 16. F of x is x square. You just observe in the previous iteration, the maximum is 576. And in the next iteration is moved to 729. It's very interesting. We are moving towards your optimal solution. If this process of iteration continues, then finally it is possible for you to get your result. So this is the interesting logic which is applied. And while doing so, you should also be careful. You have to apply one more natural phenomena of mutation. Mutation refers to change 1 or 2 bits and results in the new value that will be placed down. So mutation here helps in making natural phenomena is applied. In this way, it is possible for you to get genetic algorithm principle to solve varieties of interesting problem where neural network also require GA process in order to tune the weights. Otherwise, the weights will be so random. Genetic algorithm helps in making the tuning of your weights and give a GA and neural network a best solution for many of the applications. So this is just all about whatever the hours, 1.5 hours, which is given to me. I just managed to introduce these two concepts mathematically. Go ahead and do justice whatever you want to do for your research work or any of your new concept and make. So now my presentation is over. I come to the last slide. You have any typical question to be asked, you are welcome. And once again, I'll thank the organizers who have given me an opportunity to uh, share my thoughts, especially in this. So my just a concept for many of the new fellows who are there here. While doing so, your research be honest, sincere, and commit. It is possible nowadays. It is not that difficult because many resources which are available. Make yourself ready for tomorrow. So with this, I'll thank once again each and every one of you. So the time has come to end. I'll
So
hand over the.
I posted my question in the chat.
Sir, there is a question in chat box. For lung disease detection, which model of deep neural network need to be chosen?
Here, first lung detection model. In the deep neural network, there are 4 to 5 different models which have been given. Now you are using image processing here. There is a difference between whatever I told now is BPN network and artificial neural network. In lung disease concept, when you give the image, you should extract the feature, and you should extracted feature should be made available to the same model, whatever which you have used, image processing model in order to recognize it. So before going to the deep neural network, I just advise do it for using BPN network, what I told now. Then you will get a clear-cut idea. Because when you go for a deep neural network model, many of the hidden information it will be lost. Because the feature extraction is also a part of deep neural network, you may not be in a position to understand how this process flow is going on. Now, yeah, I hope this helps you to understand the concept of any problem solution through neural network. Any other question?
Sir, there is one more question. Does feature detection helps in BPN or RBF? How can we obtain those features?
Where?
Does feature detection happens in BPN or RBF? How can we
No,
obtain those features?
no. In RBF and BPN, we have to give the feature values. That is X1 to Xn, what I told, that we have to extract. That is what they, from the data set, we have to take the data. But the feature extraction is also a part of it. Just like God given us an eye, through eye, our feature detection automatically done in our brain and gives the output. If want to give a sensory input through the sensor and takes that data and that data is supplied to the BPM. That is the difference. That is the major difference. I hope there is one more lecture is there on deep neural network. You will understand the difference of what I have told today with respect to the real deep neural network application in the coming hours.
Sir, there is one more question. How can we avoid data overfitting in classification problem? Does it depend on examples or weight selection?
So overfitting and underfitting are the two things which will always run in our machine learning problem. So with respect to the data set, whether the required amount of data only have to consider. Whenever the huge data is there, so many times we will taking the for the training, we'll take 80% of the data for the training and remaining 20% for the test cases. When you do it, you may get your result correct. But when you go for a real data, your real data, which is not at all been there in the test data also, in the training data also, if it is start giving the result correctly, then you can expect the model is working fine. So you should be a bit careful in fitting the data to your application. So it is, we have to hook through our trial and error support in order to fit our data to a model.
There is one more, sir. What is an autoencoder?
So that comes in the case of deep neural network. I think in the deep neural network, one chapter is completely designed for encoding concept. That means to say your data is encoded, represented in some fashion. I think I given one example in the GA, how genes are represented in the form of a string to make the computer to understand. That is called encoding scheme. So for example, eye color is maybe 4 colors are possible. Then what I will do is I will use 2 bits to represent this. That is called scheme called encoding. In the same fashion, that is encoding, auto-encoding scheme is used in deep learning to make our feature value to be represented in some fashion in the for understanding. That is auto-encoding scheme.
Okay. Participants can unmute and interact with sir if you want. You can unmute and interact with sir directly. If you have any questions, you can ask. Sir, there is one more question in chat box. Application in UI or UX for research.
I am not that clear about idea about this question.
Okay, sir.
Because if you have done any research work in that, you can tell. Otherwise, it is difficult to answer.
Okay. Best textbook for neural network.
The best textbook today, I think previously when we started our journey of learning neural network, Yagna Narayan was the Indian author textbook. Now Tom Mitchell, I think is one of the textbook which is used for learning machine learning. To make yourself comfortable from the beginning, there is one Indian author textbook written by Deepa and Shivanand from Coimbatore Institute of Technology, CIT, Coimbatore. This is Vile publication. Is very, very interesting and easier, and every chapter and every module is explained with example and implementation. You can go for that book and make it get ready.
Yes, any other questions? Participants can unmute and ask. Okay. Sir, I guess there are no more questions.
Okay. I will thank everyone who listened this lecture and make your journey in the neural network. And once again, I will thank the organizing team, especially MEJ College of Engineering, who has given me an opportunity to share my thoughts, especially in this occasion. Thank you, each one of you, for this opportunity. Thank you.
Okay. I thank Dr. Sridhara KS for enlightening talk on artificial neural networks and genetic algorithms, also providing research trends and applications for the same. I thank you so much, sir, for accepting our invitation and getting associated with this FTP, sir. It was an excellent, clear, and an informative talk, and we look forward to more such associations with you again. Thank you very much once again, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, madam.
And participants, that's all for today. Tomorrow there will be 3 more sessions which will be handled by eminent personalities like Dr. B. Surendran, Associate Dean, NIT Puducherry, Dr. Lalit Kumar Singh, Scientist in Reactor Safety Analysis, Government of India, Dr. Anbunathan R., Founder and CEO of Digitran Solutions. So we will meet tomorrow. Thank you all. Thank you, participants. We will meet tomorrow. I have shared a link for attendance in the chat section. You can fill it up.
Yes, the